For, well, basically all of human history, we've looked up at the stars and asked this one huge question. Are we alone? Today, we're going to talk about something wild, the idea that the answer might not come from a person looking through a telescope, but from something we've just started to create.
I mean, think about it. For as long as we've really been us, we've been cosmic searchers. It's been this long, incredibly patient, and deeply human journey, you know? It's all been powered by a mix of real science and just pure hope.
And we've thrown everything we have at it. We've built these gigantic telescopes to see into the darkness. We've literally sent messages on golden records hurtling out into space. And we've listened. Man, have we listened. Just hoping to hear the tiniest whisper that tells us we're not the only ones out here.
Okay, but here's where the whole story takes a really sharp turn. What if the very first thing to make that discovery,
The thing that finally, once and for all, confirms that we are not alone in the universe?
What if it isn't human? What if a machine makes what is, without a doubt, the single most important discovery in the history of our species? That's the incredible and kind of unsettling question we're digging into. All right, so let's dive into our first section, a new kind of search. To really get what's happening now, we have to appreciate the amazing human effort that got us here in the first place.
This whole search is basically woven into our DNA. I mean, from ancient astronomers just charting the night sky to modern scientists pointing massive radio dishes at distant galaxies, it's all the same quest. We've scanned for patterns, we've analyzed the air on planets light years away, and we've listened for any little blip in the cosmic static that doesn't sound natural. And all of it, every last bit, is driven by that one powerful hope, to find proof.
But, and this is a big but, that brings us to our second section, the human limit. Because for all our passion, for all our smarts, we've slammed right into a wall. The universe is just too big, and our ability to search it is, well, it's only human.
Seriously, just try to get your head around this for a second. There are more stars out there in the universe we can see than there are grains of sand on every single beach, on every single desert, on our entire planet. The scale is just, it's mind-breaking.
And with all that space comes a ton of data, an absolute avalanche of it. Every single day, our telescopes are drinking from a fire hose of information. Signals, pictures, noise. It's so overwhelming that it's actually incredibly easy for us to miss one tiny, crucial signal that's buried in all that static.
And really, this is the core of the problem, right? We're human. We get tired, but the universe doesn't take a break. We make assumptions. We look for a life that looks like us. But what if it's something totally different? And maybe most important of all, the amount of data is so huge, we're just bound to miss things. We're not built for this job, not on our own.
So what did we do? Faced with our own limits, we did what people always do. We built a better tool. And that brings us to section 3. Enter the AI observer. We've basically created an artificial intelligence to be our tireless set of eyes and ears on the cosmos.
Now here's the really wild part. It's all about the approach. See, a human scientist is looking for signs of life that are familiar, things based on carbon or water, that kind of stuff. But an AI, it has no biases. It doesn't care what life should look like. It just looks for anomalies. It searches for anything, literally anything, that doesn't fit in with the normal background chatter of the universe.
And that right there is its superpower. An AI observer doesn't blink, it never gets bored of staring at static, it doesn't make any assumptions, and it never, ever stops. It's a relentless, inhumanly perfect search tool for an inhumanly huge job.
So that brings us to our next section, discovery as a data point. And this is where things start to get a little weird. What does that moment of discovery actually feel like when it's made by a machine? Yeah, forget all the dramatic movie scenes of scientists cheering. Instead, just picture this. A single quiet little alert pops up on a computer screen in some server room. No trumpets, no fanfare, just a notification.
And this is probably what it would say. Not, hey, we found aliens, but something much colder, much more analytical. This does not match known behavior of the universe. A simple, terrifyingly calm statement that something out there is just not natural.
So here's the thing to really let sink in. The single most important moment in the history of humanity could arrive completely stripped of any human emotion. No party, no moment of shared awe. It's just another data point flagged by an algorithm.
And that leads us to our final, and maybe the most profound section of all, when discovery loses awe.
What does this all mean for us, for the very idea of what it means to discover something?
For all of history, discovery has been this deeply human thing. It's that eureka moment. It's a story we tell our kids and grandkids. It's about the journey, the struggle, and that incredible feeling of shared wonder.
So what happens to that feeling when our greatest eureka moment is just found, filtered, and then summarized for us by a machine that can't feel anything at all? Does that make it less special? Does it fundamentally change what discovery even is?
And this is the last really heavy question. If a machine is the one out there finding things, do we just have to quietly accept that our job description has changed? That maybe we aren't the primary explorers of the universe anymore?
I'm just going to leave you with this final thought. For thousands of years, we've been looking up at the sky, waiting for a message. But what if the most important discovery we ever make, the one that finally answers that oldest question, doesn't feel like discovery at all? What if it just feels like a notification?